I have to be really actually conscious about not talking with my hands.
Why?
Because I do that a lot. I just be
me too.
flip-flopping around.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were like, I clearly remember that you said XYZ because I remember the hand movement you were making during it, and I'm like, damn. I guess. Your makeup is looking really nice.
Thank you. I woke up really early today.
I'm gonna start with a little introduction.
Okay.
I did my little research on you. I'm really excited to have you here.
God, okay.
Just let me know how you would like me to address you.
You can call me Rhiana.
Okay, bye. Because I'm like not sure where your IG handle
Yeah.
came from or anything.
It's actually it's from Animal Crossing.
Oh, it is?
It's a whole thing. It's really funny. It's very silly though.
I love it. I love it. You never know what people be into and stuff.
Of
but
course.
I'm really excited about today's conversation because I'm joined by Rhiana, who is a professional chef making big moves in the cannabis industry. So with that being said, she's on her content game and giving us gems, dropping infused recipes. And I love to see them. They look delicious. I got some samples. So I can't wait to see if they are delicious as well in real life, which I'm sure they are.
Oh
but
gosh, the pressure.
it's the fact that she brought me this gift that is gluten-free and dairy-free.
Oops.
It's not. It is okay.
No, then we have to have a separate showing for that. We'll make that a separate
That's okay. I
episode.
can't wait to unbox this. It's so funny because we were talking about that's something I would do too. We literally said, but with that being said, she can accommodate any dietary needs, all that stuff.
And I'm
And
not high and forgetful about it.
right, no, I appreciate that either which way. And I'm happy to be here with you because you are doing something that not a lot of people be doing.
Oh.
So welcome to Valid with an Accent first and foremost.
So excited to be
Thank
here.
you so much. It's been way overdue.
I know. It's all good. I'm just happy to be here regardless.
So how would you like to be addressed? Like cannabis chef? Well, what do you call yourself?
I just call myself a baker.
Baker.
I never went. I didn't go to school or anything for it. Just have
Okay.
very gracious friends who will show me recipes and different techniques and whatnot, and will deal with the nonsense that comes out of my mouth where I'm thinking, oh, is this insane to do? And usually the answer is yes, and I tried anyway, but it works out.
That's exactly why you gotta try it.
Exactly. I'm like, it might be crazy, but I'll be the guinea pig. It's okay. But yeah, I started baking like when I was a kid with my mom. Like it was, she grew up trying to make sure that I could eat good food, which is great, but she wasn't someone that called herself a chef. She was just very married to Food Network. So grew up with a lot of those episodes in my head and in the mornings. And so whenever she'd have a, the hands are coming out to talk.
No, you're good, girl.
Whenever there would be a birthday or something, she would want to make something from scratch. And it would be this whole shebang where we'd both be stressed out in the kitchen because she's stressed out about something and I'm just like, I'm 6 and I don't know what's going on. So there's a lot of history of just kind of knowing where eggs go and flour goes.
Okay, so basically we can say thanks to your mom that we are here right now, right?
Maybe.
Not only because she made you, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure if that's a credit she'd be very happy about, considering the implications, but she's pretty pleased.
You make a lot of infused recipes, and I feel like that's your main niche, I would say, right?
That's my shtick, yeah.
And you said you were 19 when you started smoking. Like, was weed legal back then?
Oh gosh, I'm really dating myself. No, it wasn't. It was very illegal. At the time when I just started smoking, we had these like little like one hitters, we like little containers, and we'd have a little bit of weed with us to just kind of do like a kind of hidden smoke on the corner somewhere just before work. I was actually recently walking in the neighborhood I used to work in years ago around like Bank Street in the Village with a friend, and I would tell her, oh wow, we'd just gone to the Flowery and we're smoking Miss Grass. And I'm thinking, Sarah, oh my God, I used to be on these same corners in my early 20s, just tucked away with my little one hitter, just like, oh, I just need a little fix. I just need something to get through this night of being a hostess or whatever. So it's so much more different a good way. I'm glad we're
Yeah.
where we're at. But yeah, I've been smoking for a long time.
Okay. How was your first experience with that?
Smoking, weird. I thought that there were demons in my head and they were trying to scratch themselves out of my head. And
Really?
I think I was just, the anxiety about me having a giant forehead was just coming into fruition. Which now I'm like very okay with. There's nothing in my forehead willing to come out, but sometimes when I get too high, I'm like, ooh, it's back. Like we're back in there. But that wasn't that great, but I kept giving it a try because I was in college. I wanted to have like a friend circle, that kind of shit. People around me were smoking, and it was always a journey of how high can we get and how crazy can it be. So those are the days where we had these things called volcanoes, and they would be, a normal person would have like a bag maybe like this big, but some of them were like 6 feet tall, like giant, about the size of me. And we'd all see how much of the vaporized weed oh my God, now that I'm saying it, it's embarrassing. Like, oh my God, I've done some degenerate ass shit. But that was just what it was kind of like how high can we get, and what's the most potent and pure form of cannabis can we find in these very illegal times.
What was your first experience with edibles? Because what you are doing today is basically an extension of that. And I know like edibles come on a very wide range of whether it's like 5 milligrams or 25 milligrams in a serving and stuff like that, depending on the brand and stuff, what form it comes in. You can have like really bad experiences with that. What got you from like, let's say, trying your first edible to now making your own?
So the first time I had an edible, 19, it was horrible. It was 7 grams of weed into 2 cups of butter, which for someone who's very new, that's a lot. That's just a lot. I wish I could do the math off the top of my head. I might need a calculator, but in the before times, it was just a lot. And considering how long the process is between decarbing the weed and then cooking it down in the butter and worrying about syncing up the house and all these different factors, and we made it into a brownie box mix, which I thought was going to be fine, but it was terrible. It tasted disgusting, and there was no love in it. It was just such a utilitarian experience of, we just need to get high. It doesn't matter how we do it. I'm like, fuck. And it was hot. It was awful. I was so fucked up. I think I had 2 brownies, and it was my first edible experience ever. They had to be maybe 50 milligrams each. Just bombs. Just complete bombs. For me, like, 50 milligrams now that I'm a little more experienced, not so bad. 50 milligrams then was a bear tranquilizer, and it was so bad. And I had been with someone who was more experienced, and they looked fucked up. So I was like, this is all around horrible. The amount of effort that's gone into it, the way this tastes, like there has to be something different. And people would laugh at me and be like, why? Like, who cares? It's just weed. Like, but we're eating it. It's also food. It's much more than that. So it was from then where I just kind of had this constant idea of, if it's going into butter is a regular ingredient, just use that and put it into something that is a regular recipe that I've made before. And I kind of took that and kept polishing it from then. I would make the edible I would make the edible cookies for my coworkers.
Edible party, I'm with that.
And it was I've done that too. Oh yes, yeah. Oh wow. Every edible party I've ever done would be, everyone has a little snack. I'd maybe make some infused salsa, infuse this and that and the other, and then 2 hours in, everyone's just quiet, which is great. That's why I know everything's working. But it just was experimentation of, this could all be so much better. And I think, considering it's such a heavily policed substance, I mean, there's prohibition, and there's not, and it's kind of is now, and there's all these different legislators trying to pass that are both like, it feels like both a money grab, but also like they don't want it to be as accessible for people who need it. It's like, oh my God, just here's how to do it. Here's some math so you don't have to break yourself or have to go through an experiment with yourself and maybe scare yourself away from it, especially with new consumers. It was just really important to make sure that was out there somehow. Like, we're going to find a way to make edibles. Just here's how to do it. It's like harm reduction.
So how long did it take you from that first awful batch of brownies to the perfect infused butter? How many tries? How many different recipes?
I would say it took a couple years because I had to learn math. I was lucky to be sponsored to take a class with the American Culinary Federation. It was sponsored through CUNY, and I got to take that course and really perfect how to do my math properly, how to make things more properly, not convert everything into CBN and just make something to make me sleep or just knock people out. And it took a couple years. I didn't start feeling, I think I became professionally selling edibles out of my apartment in 2020 during the plague. And I was 27. I was 27 at the time. So almost 10 years. About.
No.
Yeah,
no, time is flying.
Time is flying. It was uncomfortable to admit and sit there and be like, oh, God.
Well, you look 27 right now, so
Thank
I don't know what you're talking about. And I know that you are certified right now, right? When it comes to the culinary things. That's like CUNY?
That was the CUNY program.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. It was an online class of about 12 weeks. And it was 3 hours a day. And I was basically watching this professional chef, show us how to make edibles and how to properly calculate it, how terpenes interacted with each other, and the importance of the various cannabinoids and what they did, and how THC was psychoactive, but CBN was just all the little intricate details that not many folks know about. So that was great. But what was also interesting is I felt at the time that I wanted to have a little more interaction. Like, I wanted to see more visuals of recipes, which was hard for a Zoom class. So I remember reaching out to the program coordinator, who was a very lovely person. And I'm like, if there's any way to jump into this, I'd love to help the program. It seems really interesting. I'd like to be a part of it somehow. And that's how I got my first opportunity to do demo courses and show people little classes online.
That is so cool.
It was really interesting. So it would kind of be like, thinking about growing up with the Food Network, like a little Barefoot Contessa episode where I'd be like, hi guys, I'm Rhiana, I do dumb shit with food, here's how to make curried popcorn, and you see my hands, and I show them everything as much as I can, and then the finished product at the end, so they know what it should look like during the process, and then what the finished product looks like, what mistakes may occur. I've messed up so many times on camera and then also had to spot fix. So I thought it was a really good way to show people how accessible it could have been and how to do it at home.
That's so cool that you said that, the mistakes that can be made, because you admitted to them. And again,
oh my gosh, yeah.
It took you years to perfect, the perfect recipes and stuff. So now you can freely experiment. But I know a lot of people who just be trying to make edibles at home, whether it's gummies or, brownies or wings even and stuff.
Wings are good.
What are some common mistakes that can be avoided, and how, in your experience?
A lot of people don't want to decarb their flour, which...
What does that even mean?
Oh, sorry.
Exactly. Let's just, for the people that don't know,
yeah.
I want to get into it.
So the really long name of it is decarboxylation. And really basic way of explaining it is it converts the THCA into THC, which is the active component in cannabis that makes you high. So when that doesn't happen, or when it happens at just not in an uncontrolled way, which I think may occur when folks are just tossing their flour into their batter and getting whatever result happens. You may get something, which, all right, fine, but you may not get the full scope of terpenes that may be in the flour, all the cannabinoids that may be available. It's inconsistent. And you don't want that, because wheat's expensive as fuck.
Right.
It's so pricey now. And so when I think about that, basically all you need to do is just it's like preheating the oven, but you preheat your flour to 230, 240 for about 25 minutes to 30 minutes on a baking sheet. Some situations occur where like there's some machines that automate it for you, like the Levo will give you a little container to put in the reservoir, or the Magic Butter machine gives you a silicone box to do large batches of decarbing. But either way, you could really just grind it up and toss it on a baking sheet, and that evenly heats everything, activates your flour to be utilized into butter or oil or sugar or what have you. And that is, I usually say if you get that part right, you're kind of okay. A lot of folks may also want to overcook their flour, which it's fine too. I don't want to say that's wrong, because when you cook cannabis for long enough, a lot of the cannabinoids convert to CBN, which does help with sleep, and it is like a sleep activating cannabinoid, which I have terrible sleep, so I'm always looking for that. So sometimes when people say, I do my thing for 2+ hours, this much long, and it still hits people, it knocks people out, I always just say, okay, that's fine. But just so you know, this is a scientific thing that's occurring. I'm not saying it's wrong or correct, but this is what the science is.
So basically, depending on, if I'm understanding it correctly, depending on how long you do the decarbing for, you get different like active ingredients with like, right?
Yes. So decarbing is the activator from THCA to THC, and then once you're actually cooking in your butters or your base, that's when you kind of hit those things where you might convert to CBN.
Okay, I got it.
Which again, I love sleep. If that's your goal, that's how you do it. Just overcook it a little bit.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's 2.5 hours or so. Maybe a little longer. Yeah.
First of all, I want to. Can I just open this?
You can open it as long as it doesn't cause a reaction. Because I'm
not gonna eat it.
Okay.
Because I'm gluten and dairy intolerant. It might just trigger my eczema. That's it.
Wait, no. Okay, don't touch it. I'll touch it.
No, I can touch it.
Okay. Because I also have eczema, and I'm not about to pass that on.
So why would you? Why would we both touch it?
I have the protection.
Oh, this is the lemon one that you sell, right?
Lemon ones, yeah.
Oh no, this looks so good.
Thank you. We'll have to share it with other folks outside. But
that's so cool.
So it's summertime now, so I like, well, not summer, it's like hitting spring.
So good. Like sweet, but still that like citrus smell.
Yeah.
And it just smells soft.
Thank you.
And
this is probably my most gaslighty recipe ever, because I'm always looking for a good blondie that doesn't feel dense in the center. And so this one almost had a cookie base, and I'm like, oh my god, is this gonna cook? Or are you gonna work?
Oh no, I'm not gonna lie, I need this if you can make it for me.
I will actually drop off a replacement.
We did spoke the other day, like we might go live on some streaming platforms and actually like
I'll sit there and do the whole thing.
How many recipes do you have currently?
I have way too many fucking recipes. A lot of the times it's just me thinking of something I've either really wanted to eat before, or thinking about what's going on in the season. Or it's less of what do I want to eat and what is the prompt that I'm trying to achieve. So, for example, I'm trying to prepare a recipe for a pop-up I'm doing in April for around like the 420 season. And I asked a friend, what do you want to eat when you're really high in the middle of spring? Like, what are you seeking? What flavors do you want? And she, of course, said, thankfully, she said, I would like something citrusy and bright, but not too heavy. And I'm like, okay. So a lot of my recipes are just like, how do I take something that's kind of easy to do, but also give people a way to make it really posh if they wanted to, which is not hard. Like if you can make ganache in the microwave, you can throw a slice of lemon on something, make a little caramelized sugar. It's just some extra time.
I love it.
Thanks.
And so now you teach courses. If I'm not mistaken, you have a workshop coming up.
I do workshops. Sorry. I do I do workshops through various different, with various dispensaries, either in-store or out-store. I also offer workshops online. So I'm going to offer the opportunity people can also just email me and ask, like, hey, I want to set up some time to learn X, Y, and Z. And I'll say, like, okay, I do, like, one-on-one tutoring. I do recipe development. I help people convert things to fit their allergens, because I have a whole bunch of allergies. Like, I have a really bad fruit allergy. It's mostly pollen based, so I can't have apples or pears.
I'm
or
allergic
everything.
to apples. If you know,
So
you
you
know,
get
everything breaks my lips out. And
Yeah.
like, people was like, how can you be allergic to apples? I'm like, you don't understand.
Don't understand.
And again, it cross reacts with eczema and stuff because
Yep.
a lot of foods trigger eczema, right?
Exactly.
Not to like get into the health topic, but when
I completely get it.
because I used to use like steroid ointments on my eczema,
Right.
which is also not good for you.
It's not it because
I don't-
they have the whole.
It treats the symptoms, but then like you use it here, and once you stop, it comes out here and here.
Exactly.
So now it just gets like gradually worse. So when I first went to a doctor, they were like, oh, dairy, gluten, soy, sugar, eggs, dark vegetables, berries. And so I'm like, okay, now I don't like when people ask me, like, so what can you eat?
Oh,
Lettuce?
God, I hate that.
It's like, no, I can eat a bunch of stuff, but I was really at a point where I'm like, what
You're
can
not
I
sure,
eat?
yeah.
No red meat, no this, no that. I'm like, damn, what's going on?
Do you walk around with a recipe card? Do you walk around with an allergy card?
No.
I
So it's intolerances for me, honestly. Not like the actual allergy I have is only shellfish.
Oh wow. Okay.
Everything else, like let's say I love sushi, but when I have sushi, I cannot have soy sauce or ginger. The second I have soy sauce, like my skin breaks out here, and from the ginger I get like a rash here. So that's so good that you are in tune with the different like allergies and like make
Absolutely.
sure you cater to people with special needs.
Yeah, except this one time.
I'm
so
no
sorry.
shade.
I'm shading myself, like duh.
Because we were literally on the phone 2 days ago.
Yes, I know. That's the
It's okay.
point.
It's
Oy
really
vey.
listen. No, I appreciate it regardless.
Okay.
When you infuse your recipes, like how can you properly assure that you use the right amount of weed and
So there is math that I was taught. In terms of basically converting. You just need to I'm speaking from a place of privilege because I know I can access weed where we can see the THC tolerances on everything or the percentages on all our weed. So you basically just convert the THC percentage into milligrams, and then you can know how many milligrams are in that one container of flour and then how much you're putting into your oil or butter or what have you. So once I don't want to get too technical, but I
no,
also have to
please
make
do because
sure.
I'm actually
I
interested.
remember, I'm like, do I pull out my thing? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. So basically, once you do that, so say we have flour that's 30% THC in the entire 3.5 milligrams of flour. You convert that to milligrams at 300 milligrams in that eighth. So if you put that eighth into 2 cups of butter, and you could also do a calculation to accommodate for minor loss of potency from decarboxylation. I think you need to multiply that number by 0.83, which is in one of my videos, pinned to my page, pinned to a comment.
Yes, definitely. No, check it out because
It's a
that's
whole
important.
thing, yeah, because I'm like, oh my, sometimes this is the only math I know how to do, this and tipping math, but not how to calculate my age. So once you do all that, you take, if you're essentially taking all of that 300 milligrams and putting it into the 2 cups of butter, now you have 2 cups of butter that is 300 milligrams of THC.
So now it's just depending on how many
Exactly. Now if you want to,
servings.
so if you don't want to use the whole butter, you want to use 1 cup regular butter and 1 cup infused butter. So you just take half of that. Now you have 150 milligrams that you're using of butter. And that's basic. And that's all it's all estimates because we're not testing our food, obviously, but it does at least give you a general idea of how much you're consuming, which can mean, the difference between a regular night where you're doing some beating or something creative, or you're crying because you think you've died.
That's why when it comes to edibles, I know it cannot be past 9 p.m. that I take it because by the time it kicks in and stuff like that, and then I'm not even gonna say the brand. That one time I had a piece of their edible, I wasn't like too paranoid.
Wow.
But there was one time when I was definitely paranoid of that, and another time when I thought I just like peed myself. Like after a shower, I was just standing there in my robe, and I was just like, I think I'm peeing myself as we speak.
No.
And then,
but were you?
No.
Oh, good.
No, I was not by any means.
No
But, like,
shame though.
that's the edible. Just like I'm like, damn, like the sensation that it gives you and stuff.
It can be a lot.
How long does it take for your recipes to kick in, or when you make edibles at home?
So it usually all depends on your metabolism. So I think my metabolism's a little slow, but usually edibles hit me anywhere around 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay.
That's me. I've seen people get hit a lot sooner.
I was gonna say, if we go off of metabolism, mine's gonna hit the second I swallow that.
And honestly, oh, God bless you. That's amazing. I remember taking an edible with a friend. He took it accidentally. I did not. And it was the first time he had one, and we had the same serving, and it took him it took him about the same time for it to hit, but when I watched him have the same serving I had, I was great, and he was miserable. And I felt terrible, so I'm like, oh no, you shouldn't have had this.
No, you really need to know your body.
You gotta know your limits, yeah. I will say, when I make an edible that is like a consumable, like a brownie, like, or a blondie like this, and it's going through my digestive system, that's when it takes the longest. But when I use, say, like when I use those gummy syrups, like when a brand throws me some gummies to turn into syrup, or if I'm using infused sugar, those tend to hit differently because of the way they're made. Sometimes it will hit your bloodstream first, and you'll have a faster onset. It may not be as overwhelming or different or as edible might hit, but it's something, depending on the makeup, it may be hit differently depending on words that I've just said again. Sorry. So it's all in the ingredient that you're using.
Yeah. So for like first time consumers, what form of edibles would you recommend? Like from your own experiences, from what you make, obviously.
Right. I think that low dose infused drinks are a really good way to start. I've seen a lot of cans, even on the regular market, start at 2.5 milligrams up to 5 or 10, which is 10's on the pushing it side. That's maybe like a first timer going to bed, or what have you. Everyone's different. But a good beginner, I like to say between 2.5 and 5, because if you don't want to finish the entire thing, you can just kind of stop. And I think you just have a little bit more control. So that's usually where I start. And then as you get more accustomed to it, because again, those drinks hit a little bit faster. As you get more accustomed to it, then you might want to say, like, okay, let's do a dinner where we might have to wait a lot longer, like a couple hours, and it might be different.
I would like to set up something with you where we just have like a whole like dining experience, and you like the chef, and we like serve like infused drinks and an appetizer, main course, dessert. I
actually have a whole plan about
whole
menu ready.
Okay, that would be so
We need to bookmark that immediately.
I feel like people would be so receptive of that, especially if they get to learn about like, you know, the dishes and the different products in the meantime.
Yeah, because a lot of people think I should be honest. I am just learning and perfecting my cooking skills, but a lot of people think that edibles are just sweets, and it's not the case. So one of my favorite edibles to make are honestly breads. Love making a good bread.
Really?
Because
can you make them gluten-free?
Yes, I can.
Oh!
Yes, I can. I also make a main gluten-free crumble with respect to whatever fruit you can have.
I love it.
I try. One of my friends is so gluten-free that every time I test out recipes with them, I'm always like, okay, can you please let me know if anything makes you react to anything? Because it's not even just the ingredients I'm using, it's also, am I keeping my place clean enough, and am my stuff staying not cross-contaminated?
That's probably like celiac disease or something where you can't even smell the stuff.
Exactly. Oh, they've got it bad. And they're my barometer. And I always say, if you really get sick, please let me know. I'll pay for your medical bills.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I do take it seriously.
No, that's so funny, because I know it was not intentional, and
I appreciate your grace. I make a mean mochi though.
I would love
That's the one
to try.
I have
the mochi too.
Have you been to there's a Hashi market actually up the block with a whole bunch of different flavors of mochi that are delicious.
No, I did not know about
in
that.
like little bags, and that's actually where I got the idea to make mochi at home, because those bags are like $4 or $5 a bag with 10 pieces, and I eat them like chips. And so I had to tell myself I need to learn how to make this immediately, or else I'm going to go bankrupt.
Literally.
And that's also another reason I make a lot of recipes. It's like, just I need to clear my kitchen out. Creativity comes from necessity, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool, because creativity is literally limitless. Like when you first started, like doing what you do now, like was it just for yourself as like a hobby, or you just wanted to learn about it, or you already had like something in mind to like pursue it as a profession, or like start selling it and stuff like that?
It was definitely selfish. I just wanted to have cinnamon rolls so badly. I also didn't want to drink at my holiday parties, because I worked in a more corporate setting, and that shit gets embarrassing. But when you're high, it's just kind of entertaining. But when the plague hit, I knew a couple things. I still failed at a lot of shit, but I definitely wanted some way to have pastries that I couldn't go out and buy and have it readily accessible. So I had to learn how to prove things, and I had to invest time into making stuff. I remember with my first cake that I decorated, I tried to use a purple frosting, and then I used chocolate store-bought frosting to decorate it, and it just looked like this purple urinal cake with swirly shits on it. It was so bad. It was actually hideous. And I'm pretty sure I have that picture somewhere, and if I can dig it up, I will send it to you.
Please, because I'm going to put it right here.
You can put it right there, and I'll be like, this is what I fucking made. I'll even get the hands. This is what I made. It was absolute doo-doo, but it tasted great. And it was kind of from there where I'm like, I could get better at this. And then, funny enough, it was me bringing cookies to a hair appointment, and my hairstylist was like, this is really good, you should sell this. And I didn't have a job or anything. It was the plague, and I thought I was gonna die like in a matter of time because of the plague. So I said, why not? And that's actually how I got into selling stuff.
Cool.
Very random course of events.
That's so cool. I
Thanks.
love it, because again, like the options are limitless with it, And then, are you working on like a recipe book or something? I feel like that would be so cool to have.
It's in the works.
Okay.
I'm finally like getting the funding to properly create it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my biggest challenge, and I was telling the person who is designing the book, because I saw them at a party recently, and I'm like, I have so many other recipe ideas. When do I stop? And they're like, you don't have to. So I think hopefully by the end of this year, that'd be nice. I'm starting to piece it all together, and I'm not saying crowdsource, but I am raising the funds to get it to look really good and also be affordable for people.
So cool.
Thank you.
And you're from the city, right? You're from New York. So if people wanted to like catch you at like events or like your workshops and stuff, like how often do you do them? Where can they find you and stuff like that?
I do workshops a couple times a month. I offer private ones at all times. I should have a link up very soon. Now that I'm saying this, I'll just put it in the thing and be like,
please.
I'll be like, request me, just do it, just here. But I do those pretty much anytime during the month. I usually end up very randomly at some appearances. I'll have a couple showings for 420 for the weekend where I'll do a pop-up series. I can't drop one just yet, but
It's crazy that next month is already April.
I know!
By the time this drops, it's gonna be April, I'm pretty sure. So damn, it's April already. It's crazy.
And I'm like, it's getting warmer! But no, by the time, I will have some stuff going on 420 weekend that I can't announce the location yet, but I can, at least say it's happening. So, just keep an eye on my page, and you'll have the announcements. And I'm gonna hopefully be doing more pop-ups around the summertime and more collaborations where I'll be out there just hawking drugs. Pretty
cool.
drugs.
So cool. So you'll be collabing with certain brands as well, right?
Mm-hmm. I do a lot of work with the travel agency, which I'm really grateful for. I also do a lot of work with Cultivate Sass, they make these delicious bonbons. That every time they give me a bonbon, I just look at it and I hold it a piece of art, and then and I almost don't want to eat it because they're so pretty.
Yeah.
And I do try and work with a lot of smaller groups, like not smaller groups, but groups that I've had the ability to try myself and really suss out, which again is hard when you have an allergy. But I also like Foy brands, which are really good because they use real fruit ingredients in their gummies, which I appreciate. I can only have one, but that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think I've tried their gummies yet, but I definitely have heard of the brand.
Oh, they're good. They make their mango gummy becomes a really nice candy syrup, like not candy syrup, like a simple syrup for drinks, and it's not too heavy, and it also has functional mushrooms, so it's not like a kind of feeling. It's like a kind of feeling. I do a lot of these drugs.
So cool. I mean, it's so cool. That's crazy. But, you know, somebody just asked me the other day if I've done shrooms before, and only one time, and that was also not like an experience where I was like, oh, I want to try this. It was more like I was hanging out with like an ex-friend, and they were like, oh, you want some chocolate? I'm like, sure, right?
Oh no, they didn't tell you?
They did not tell me.
That's not nice.
Until after the fact. But it was such a small piece that also, it was such like, what is it, like a micro dose or macro dose? I never even know the difference.
I know a micro is like teeny bitty.
It was so tiny that it literally just felt like smoking like regular weed. So yeah,
that's
like them.
That's I can see,
because I know it can be a very different experience from.
It's not the same. I mean,
from smoking only or weed alone.
So I'm going to preface by saying I really much prefer cannabis. Not to knock any other drugs if they're done safely and you have a good time. Like, you do you. That's totally cool. I am a big promoter of informed consent when doing drugs, though. And so in that same vein, I have done, like, I know 0.5 gram of shrooms is 500 milligrams, and that's a low dose, even though it sounds big because it's 500 milligrams, and we think of that in THC, but it's not the case. So I've done it only in tea in a way where my setting is very controlled because I have lots of anxiety, and I don't like to lose control. So I always am like at home, and I'm wrapped up in a blanket. I'm just sitting there watching anime and in a low stimulation environment, and usually I just kind of knock out. Like, what's the first thing I told you when you handed me the blondie? Oh yes, like, you're like, how thank you, I'm having it at home. Yes. No surprise drugs. Literally. No surprise drugs. Oh man, it's good that you advocate for safe consumption while you are doing business, even though like cannabis is like a more widely accepted drug, I guess. Safe consumption is always number one priority. Like my mom, like she's not a smoker by any means. I did give her a gummy twice. Oh boy, I know where this is going. The first time it was like 1/4 of a gummy, so it was like I think 6 milligrams, right, in that tiny piece. She was not okay. Oh, but she was like, she was great because she was like cracking up the whole time. But when she realized that she was just like uncontrollably laughing, she was like, make this stop. And then, you know, when you start crying from laughing. Yes. I'm like, oh my God. Oh man, and that sounds way better than my mom's experience. No, she calls weed like a hard drug and stuff like that. I feel like now she gets more like, you know, accepting of it and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's a process, especially when you're dealing with folks of an older demographic. For example, my mom, well, you know, she was actually pretty accepting of me kind of making this a big, you know, my job. I don't think she was actually, well, how do I say this? She was accepting in the words that she said, but the intonation of her voice was very apprehensive. Like, okay, but she calls me banana. She's like, okay, banana, but there was worry when I told her this news. So, and knowing her own experience when I tried to slowly introduce it to her, she was always like, oh, I don't feel anything. I just feel tired. And I would have to tell her, that's you feeling something. And she would try and, I guess, I have no other way of describing that other than big ball me and say like, oh, I'm too cool. I'm too good for weed. I don't feel nothing. And then she fucking felt something when she ate way too much of a brownie that I told her to only have 1/4 of. Oh, I gave instructions. I always give instructions. So she had too much, didn't tell me, and was holding on to the walls at 2 a.m. because she's so high and she has to tell herself to inhale and exhale. And I think she had to take the next day off work. I'm not sure. I can't quote. But I'm like, Ma, I informed you thusly.
Yeah.
And it's moments like that where, you know, that would not be the first time someone has heard something I said and not listened to me and then had a bad experience. And it's definitely not going to be the last. But if I could just prevent that from happening all the time, or at least give people the tools to know, like, I told you this would happen, or I at least informed you of what the consequences are going to look like, so
Correct.
You can know what to do.
Because at the end of the day, everybody gotta have self-control.
They gotta have self-control.
But nowadays, it's the same thing when people smoke with grabba, and they put more grabba than weed in their spliffs and stuff, and they be like, "Oh yeah, I'm high." No, like that's great. That's
a big entourage
just
effect
because
throwing in there.
You know, the fact that you can't even function no more, like that's not the point of this whole thing. So I feel like that's just you losing self-control and like not actually using cannabis for its advantage and benefits, you know.
Agreed.
It's more of like that's
We're
why a lot of
trying to
people
run
don't
from something.
like it. Right. The demons in your forehead.
Exactly. They're running the demons that are trying to, and it's so, and to even go back to that, like, when I was first smoking, we were all just chasing that high, and yes, escaping our giant forehead demons, which is now that I go back to it, not the best way to handle experiences like that. But now that it's more legalized and there's more intentionality behind it, I feel like I can take those experiences and say, hey, yeah, we can try and figure out how fucked up we can get. That's cool and shit, but we should also know that there are consequences to that.
Yeah.
And there's ways to not have this be considered like just a degenerate drug. I know now there's coming out to be research where people who are very chronic smokers, they hit some kind of, they have this syndrome, which, oh my goodness, it's a lot of words and I don't remember the abbreviation, but basically it's just the body starts to feel, there's like digestive issues, not convulsions, but just people can't smoke weed anymore where it starts to harm their body and they're not able to tolerate it anymore, or they may have been smoking for a long time. And I'm not saying, oh, look at this, this is proof that weed is bad. It's just like, no, like with everything, some people may develop this thing that makes it not good for them to consume anymore. And I just think that whether this happens to you or not is not indicative of this being a bad thing. It's just like you should know how to consume it safely in low doses and know what's behind this plant that we're now just starting to finally get good research about, just to know.
Right.
Yeah, and who's to say that I've been smoking for 13 years, like huffing every day, huffing and puffing, volcanoes the size of my body. The weediest thing I have ever done, in college, distillate wasn't even like a thing that came in the little syringes anymore. It just came in, I don't even fucking know. But it was literally freebasing THC distillate off of a piece of foil, ripped foil, not even cut from the thing, just with a deconstructed mechanical pencil. Like, I have done some fucking shit to get high. And if I get hit with this, I'm going to call it the weed intolerance syndrome, and I'm going to also have to look that up and give you an MLA for it on that. But if I get hit with that, I'm not going to sit here and be like, weed is fucking bad. Oh, my God. I'm going to sit and be like, okay, you really need to do your math and make sure you understand. Like, just understand, like, all aspects of it. It's just so important.
I feel like that goes for everything, especially like, you know, cannabis and such, that do your research.
Yeah.
Some people are just like irresponsibly getting into stuff because their peers are doing it. They've seen it on social media.
That was me. I did it because I was peer pressured.
That's one thing about me, like, there's nothing I've ever been peer pressured into. Like, I'm cool missing out on stuff. Like, I remember in like 5th grade, my classmates and like kids from the grade used to like go behind the school and like climb up this garage next door. Like, it was like private property, but they would find a way, they go up there and then they would like smoke and stuff all the time. And it's like, I'm good. Like, I was way too scared of my mom, one, to do that. And two is just like, that is not cool for me. So nowadays, I'm okay like missing out on stuff. And that's why people gotta come to realization with that, do your research, and you
I
gotta know what
agree.
works for you, because just because it works for the next person, it might not have the same benefits and stuff for you. So
I agree with that because let me tell you, I my mom was Jamaican and I grew up with that. And that is just let me just leave it at that. But I remember, yeah, it was, and I feel like a big part of why people sometimes get into weed is just to like impress friends. Like I got out of the house in college and was like, woo! And then I saw weed and I was like, oh, let's try it. And then I feel like if I had known more and not just tried to, at the time, impress a boy.
oh boy.
I know. The things you do. I'm like, what does Courage say? The things you do for love. If I had just a little more awareness on how it would have made me feel for that first time instead of just trying to scour Reddit or Google, I probably would have had better experiences in the beginning that maybe would have led to this sooner. I'm kidding. Maybe not, but I think I would have liked to have had a more informed approach and maybe not have used it to run away from my demons, which I totally did. Now I don't do it as much. Now I'm okay with having FOMO, but I'm also like, that probably comes with age.
So you also mentioned that you used to be in the corporate field, right?
Yeah.
How was the transition from because I know how it is working corporate and stuff, right? From going from there to approaching the cannabis industry and becoming an entrepreneur and doing something you're passionate about and you can be creative in, because the corporate industry is not really something that allows creativity to bloom in a person, so how was that?
It was really weird, and I think back to, I feel like that's where I kind of noticed a shift in how I maybe grew as a person. So I'm going to name drop it. I don't give a fuck. I used to work at Mercedes-Benz Manhattan, right over the water. And I started there when I was, I think I had just turned 22, 23, really young and impressionable. And I was still in that mindset of my whole life is just, it's all dependent on how high I get in my job, which is a terrible way to think. And so at the time, cannabis was something I kept really hidden. I didn't talk about it and really smoke. Well, I did smoke, but I had to stop smoking to get into the job. And then once I got into the job, I immediately started smoking again because I was anxious. And it just kind of felt like this Batman kind of situation where I'm a bit of a pothead outside, but I had to be this polished, click-clacking in heels and the showroom. Oh, do you want coffee, sir? Can I help you? I'm so sorry. You can't afford $15,000 on a car that you could get for cheaper somewhere else. Don't get me started.
That sums up the corporate industry very well in America.
And at the time, I remember everyone had little ties with baby animals on it. They had their initials on their sleeve. I wanted the initials on my sleeve, but it also just felt like, who am I really living for? Am I living for myself and doing what I want to do, or am I living for this job? And then when do I get to do the shit for me? This job is supposed to fund the things I wanted to do. And so that's actually when I started to kind of get into baking. When I first started doing infused foods, I would just kind of have it on the side outside. Didn't sell at the time, but I did just kind of do it a little bit here and there. So instead of drinking at the party, I would make, oh my goodness, I used to make these giant cookies that my mom would make with me as a kid. They were just these big fat chocolate chip cookies, really fluffy. And they would be green because I put so much weed in them because I still didn't do my math. I just knew 7 grams of weed would make me feel something. And then from there, I would also just kind of learn how to make other stuff so I would stop crying in front of the oven. But once I left there, at least once I stopped tying my self-worth to how much my job, I guess how high I was in my position at my job, I was like, fuck this shit. They're not doing anything for me. But it was just a stark reminder of what am I going to, if I'm going to be stressed, do I want to be stressed in the corporate world, or do I want to be stressed doing something like making a little cake that I put all this work and myself into? So after that, I kind of I still had to kind of work in those jobs to fund my actual passions in school. I had to finish school, but I did kind of become, I guess, grow more into myself. And it did help to have baking as a way to be a catalyst for that.
Who would have thought that CUNY offers a program?
Seriously.
Because at first when you said that, I thought it was just like a culinary class, like a regular, but it was already focused on the infused.
They had a whole program for just cannabis. The
City University of New York.
I'm like, I can show the City University. I'm like, I have it in my files. I'm gonna look it up right now. Here it is. Yeah. That's me.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy. And City Tech.
Yep.
Wow. It's real.
That you see, and when it comes to education, you know how they say like, oh, a degree is not gonna get you far, or I get a certificate.
I got a certificate.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing my master's degree right now and
Congratulations.
stuff. Thank you. But it's like, am I gonna use it?
You might.
Like, I have a bachelor's in business and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I know helps me, whether it's in my corporate job, whether it's writing business plans for my podcast, whether it's helping others pursue their business ventures and stuff. I've been a business-oriented person since I was like 6.
Damn.
Like, whether going to work with my mom because she had her own business, or
so
my
sweet.
dad being a financial advisor, so seeing him work and, you know, all that stuff. But, like, school alone is not gonna teach you what you need in life all the time. So the fact that programs like that exist, I feel like it's such a cool way of actually getting people to go back to school, get an education, or even if it's just like a kickstart to something else after, you know, but it definitely helped you to get into the stuff that you're doing right now. And just from there, you can like always elevate, and like the sky is the limit pretty much.
Exactly. And I always think that I didn't go anywhere fancy. I didn't go to culinary school. I didn't even go to a Big Four. I went to CUNY. I went to CUNY York. Started at LaGuardia. I just did what I could. You know, my degree's in psychology. And a lot of folks are just like, make sure you use your degree or get something useful. And I'm always thinking, well, psychology helped me know how to talk to people, which honestly, with anxiety I have, is really helpful. But it also helped me kind of, realize that it really doesn't matter where you get your education from as long as you just know something and are passionate about it. Mm-hmm. But these little pockets of education that pop up, especially for cannabis, are so important. It's so important. Yeah. Because the jobs are going to be there. I mean, in terms of like, there's still going to be a need for bud tenders. There's still going to be a need for cultivators and people to make the candies and confectioners. And there's so much still out there that there needs to be some kind of training for education. There's a program, there's a group called New York State Cannabis Connect, who used to also be associated with the cannabis program at Kingsborough. Shout out to my girl Tiffany. She helps show people that there are different work opportunities in the cannabis industry throughout New York State, and she helps coordinate workshops to help people prepare for those kinds of roles. They prepare trainings or outings, just to give people information and make it less of a mysterious plant and more of, no, there's science and intentionality and actual education that should come with it, and that does come with it. So I hope I could help spearhead more programs like that, because I know that this one unfortunately did not get the funding and for any of the courses, because there were 3 other courses that were being offered. I think there's still a business course offered in one of the CUNYs though. It might be City Tech. Mm-hmm. But I do hope to spearhead in the future some kind of curriculum program that I would love to work on.
I was just gonna say, you never know. You might be the one actually coming up with a whole training program.
I'm not trying to be no Escoffier or nothing. I know that's probably not even how you pronounce his name, but I would like to just kind of help or just have something that contributes to that.
You have pop-ups coming up, 420 is coming up.
420 is coming up.
Workshops, online, in-person, one-on-one, group settings. I really want to work on that little streaming baking session. We're going to make gluten-free and dairy-free stuff live.
Gluten-free and dairy-free.
I would love that. And then maybe that little like dinner setting.
Hey, You think it
Listen.
up, I will make it.
But, all right. Make sure you shout yourself out, please.
Oh, yes. If you'd like to follow me, I do post lots of recipes and sometimes self-deprecating jokes on Instagram. You can follow me at KOKUJIN. I should actually tell you how
Please.
that...
I was just about to say, yes.
So,
where did the name come about, your IG username?
So, I am a very big video game person. I grew up with video games. As I've gotten older, I've been more into cozy gaming. So I love to play Animal Crossing. So when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, one of the features was you could change your skin tone. So you weren't just this, one homogenous looking creature. You could be a little more customized. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I can be a black person. I'm so excited. And I'm not sure if you played Animal Crossing
Never
before.
in my life.
Okay, so Animal Crossing is basically you're the only human on an island or wherever have you, and all your neighbors are animals, and you're in debt the second you get there to a tanuki. Every single game is like that. You use like thousands of dollars worth of debt. But anyway, because you want to live there. And he rents you a tent. He's like, you can pay me off whenever. But it's crazy. But I always found it funny because all the animals are like, this person's name is Kitty, this person's name is Poncho and whatnot. But it was some name related to the animal they were or whatever their theme was. So, and it's a Japanese game by Nintendo. So I thought it would be so funny if I named myself Kokujin, which in Japanese just means black person. Because I was the only black person on the island. And I'm like, I'm so clever. I'm also the only person, the only human. I'll just be this. So then I was like, okay, I've been Kokujin after a year of playing or whatever. I'm like, let's take this a little further. Let's just change the Instagram name. Like, who cares?
I love it.
I didn't think anything of it. It was at the time just my personal Instagram that I posted pictures in oversaturated filters for since I was 19. 18. Oh God. And then I went viral on one video, and then I realized, oh God, everyone now knows me as black person. And I think one person actually commented on a video and said, your name means this, right? And I'm just like, yeah, that's why I picked it. It's a factual statement.
Because I would have never thought that's what it is. I thought it was an acronym for something.
It's just me being a nerd. If I have to change it, I don't know if I can come up with anything as clever.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Can't wait to try your gluten-free and dairy-free products.
For reals.
I appreciate you for your time and
thank you for
keep
having
on being
me.
amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
You
you.
as well.